Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Unit Lost. I'm Stylosa and today we're going to take a look at the XMG P303 gaming laptop. This is a review guys, but a review with a bit of a twist. I will not be focusing on benchmark results. Instead, I'm planning to show you the laptop running League of Legends, StarCraft 2 and Battlefield 4, and we will specifically focus on the FPS and overall gaming experience. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a real world gaming review. So first up, let's take a look at the keyboard. It is backlit, which is great, which means you can game in the dark. I like that. Everybody should like that. We all love that. And apart from that, it's a pretty standard laptop keyboard. There's nothing amazing apart from the fact it glows in the dark. On the right hand side of the case, we have three USB 3 ports, HDMI, VGA out, the Ethernet and the power port. And on the left hand side, we have the vents, a normal USB port, the audio out and the microphone in. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at StarCraft 2 running at 1080p with ultra graphics settings. This is the highest possible in-game settings, ladies and gentlemen. But hold your horses. Let me explain what's actually going on the screen. So, up the top left-hand corner of the screen, you have the FPS counter. This is completely and it is 100% in sync with the FPS counter you can see on the monitor of the laptop in the top left-hand corner. By all means, pause the video and check. It is completely in sync. This will give us a much clearer idea of the performance of the laptop. Now, as you can see, with StarCraft 2, it is extremely high FPS rates. Anything above 60 is high FPS, ladies and gentlemen, and that means absolutely super butter smooth gaming. So I've been very impressed with the StarCraft performance, but we'll go into a little bit more detail on StarCraft 2 at the end of the video. Moving on to Battlefield 4. Now, it would have been nice to have actually tested Battlefield 4 on a multiplayer server. Unfortunately, as of the time of recording this, battle log was down, so that was impossible. Oh dearie me, EA, oh dearie me. However, if you look at the FPS counter, you can see that it kind of hovers around 30 FPS. Now, this is the laptop running the game at the highest possible setting, so I don't know, that's kind of like okay-ish, I think. Battlefield 4 is a very graphically demanding game. And finally, we move on to League of Legends. Now, I thought League of Legends performance would have been a little bit better. This is League of Legends running on high, everything is at full, and we're getting around about 40 FPS on average. So that is not a bad result, although I think it could have been a little bit better. I was kind of expecting a better result, if I'm totally honest. Now, of course, FPS could be increased if we lower the graphics settings, so if we knock down the shadows a few settings or something like that, we could probably get a much higher FPS in League of Legends. Okay, next up, let's talk about the volume levels of the laptop when it's under load. Because when it is running games, ladies and gentlemen, it is under extreme load. And that means the fans go to full power and they are quite loud. It's a little bit of a leaf blower. Now, what I suggest you do is listen to my mouse clicks and keyboard presses and kind of compare that to the sound of the fans. You can kind of almost gauge for yourself how loud the laptop actually is. And I guess the final thing I really want to talk about is the actual battery life. Now, you can see the battery has 13% remaining. This was after a full test session, so I've been using the laptop for around about 3 hours, and it used quite a lot of the battery, as you can see. But you know, I honestly think 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours of battery life under full load running games at the quality level this laptop can do is actually pretty good. Okay, so the other things we haven't spoke about are the trackpad and the built-in speakers. Now, you know what guys, any self-respecting gamer is never ever going to use the speakers on a laptop, and they are also never going to use the trackpad for anything. Maybe the odd little, I don't know, doing something in Windows or whatever, but they are never going to use that for gaming. So you get yourself a decent gaming mouse, you get yourself a decent gaming headset, and then you carry on. That's why I've not spoken about that, because in my eyes it's pretty pointless. Now, the other thing is the 13.3-inch monitor or display. This is actually pretty damn good, guys. Now, it's pretty small as well, and it's 1080p, so that kind of makes it appear very high quality because it's a small screen and it has a pretty high pixel density. It is a very impressive screen. I didn't really notice much glare coming off the screen as well, which is pretty good because, you know, we hate glare on screens. That is just terrible. It can really take away from the experience. So, yeah, I mean, I think apart from the only major negative I've got is it's pretty loud, which of course it doesn't really bother you all that much if you're the one actually playing on the laptop, because as I said, you'll probably have a headset on, so you won't really hear that. But it could annoy people, you know, in your immediate vicinity, which could be quite irritating. Let's say if you're actually on a train or on a plane or something like that, it may make a little bit of noise. But what I have to say for this laptop it is actually a gaming mobile laptop, ladies and gentlemen, which is pretty good. Now, we had a laptop off XMG in the past, although we didn't actually produce any content on this, but this thing was a absolute beast. It was like a desktop replacement. I think it lasted for about 25 minutes on its battery, if that, and that's probably being generous. It wasn't really very mobile. This laptop, though, is extremely mobile. If you are looking for a laptop which is mobile, so if you want to take this to university or you go on a lot of trips across the country or whatever, this is a mobile gaming laptop in every sense of the word, apart from a little bit of the noise, but I guess you could kind of ignore that to some extent anyway. So, game performance-wise, StarCraft 2, extremely impressive. If you like StarCraft 2 on a mobile gaming machine, you need to buy this, ladies and gentlemen. It is extremely impressive. League of Legends, the performance I thought was a little bit low. It could have been a little bit better. But then again, I am running the games on high with all the settings at full. So if you knock down a few settings, things like shadows, maybe anti-alias and stuff like that, it'll probably run a lot faster. Battlefield 4 was hovering around 30 FPS, which I think is pretty respectable performance considering how demanding Battlefield 4 is. Unfortunately, we couldn't test the multiplayer because Battle Log was down, which was a little bit of a shame. So yeah, but my overall opinion of this laptop, it is a very good laptop, guys. I'll leave a link in the description below to the store page. I won't quote any prices because prices change all the time, but this isn't a super expensive laptop. It's fairly expensive, but it really gets the job done. It is a mobile gaming laptop that is nice and small and compact. It doesn't weigh a lot, so it's really easy to move around. I'm really impressed with this, guys. Really impressed. And the battery life, as I say, the battery life is kind of okay. You're probably going to get 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours out of the laptop. And I think that's, I think that's pretty good considering the performance that you do get. So this has been a review of the XMG P303, guys. I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. Please leave a comment below. If you like the video, then like the video, I guess, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.